finals day at the 1/8 IC Track B Euros and the recently reworked Thionville facility at the end of a long hot week has proved to be, well, a little bit special.
I think it's really difficult. I mean, I've never seen even good drivers making so many mistakes. I was like, I want to drive it. You know, I really like it. It's uphill, downhill, camera, off camera. It's like a roller coaster.
Let's start the ride. Frustration for Romain Picard in semi-final A. Car trouble meant he only made 15 of the 20-minute semi. One of only 3 drivers to make the 28 laps in qualifying was out, leaving TQ man Arnaud Mathieu to finish a lap ahead of Swedish driver Christophe Hedlund from Frenchman Anthony Abisset. Tragedy also struck in Semi-B, this time for the other remaining member of the 28-lap club, Jerome Papakonstantinos. He had to leave his pole spot empty due to engine problems, as Sabrine Lechner led, avoiding the pile-up into turn 1. But before long, John Ehrman effectively left the rest in his tracks, whilst Jerome did make it out for 5 minutes, but effectively his Euros were over. Thilo Totman and Dirk Richard survived problems, made it to the end, but fell some way short of making the final, though Sabrina Lechner and the orange car of Stephane Riccobono here on the same lap would make the final. But John Ehrman, finishing 2 laps ahead of the rest, puts him on pole in the final, with Arnaud Mathieu in second on the grid and Christophe Hedlund on third. As the crowds gathered for this much anticipated final, even the warm-up lap offered some drama, as the event's top qualifier Arnaud Mathieu appeared to flame out. With seconds to go, his mechanic would frantically restart the car, but as the rules dictate, he would start from the pit lane. This of course gave poleman John Ehrman a bit more breathing space into turn 1. But with the exception of some acrobatics from Cédric Ramiller-Perrine, most of the field got away cleanly. So as the opening laps unfold, yellow car 1 of John Ehrman leads from white car 3 of Christophe Hedlund from pink car 4 of Anthony Abisset, with home favourite Arnaud Mathieu at the back of the field. And in just a few laps, Ehrman stretches his lead on cars 3 and 4. Meanwhile, at the back of the pack, Arnaud has passed car 10 and is pursuing the now recovered Cédric Ramiller-Perrine, who's behind orange car 9 of Stephane Riccobono. And all 3 stand to gain as stranded Remy Hassler is rushed back to the pits. Moments later, Arnaud is past Stephane and a mistake from Cédric allows him up into 5th place. Soon pit stops come into play, spacing out some battles and bringing others together. One thing's for sure, any strategy Team Mathieu may have had will now be changed to simply push hard. But it's working. Approaching 10 minutes in, he's up to 3rd behind Christophe Hedlund, while John Ehrman up front continues to look untouchable. And whilst there's more problems for Cédric, Arnaud is mounting pressure on white car 3 of Christophe Hedlund, hungry to get into the 2nd spot. The Swiss driver won't have had as much experience on this extremely tricky track, and with little room to breathe, a mistake gives the position to Arnaud. So cars 1, 2, 3 return to grid order. Not even halfway in, and Arnaud has pulled off an impressive feat to get where he is, but with a wealth of experience, John Ehrman is a lap up and looking aggressive, though increasingly his cornering starts to look like a problem could be developing with his car. About 10 minutes in, and cars 1 and 2 are close enough now to exchange positions when they pit stop, but a very bad corner puts Arnaud into 1st, while Ehrman's car now urgently needs attention. His pit crew changes tyres, which takes about 17 seconds. The new tyres, they affect his pace, and the leader puts another lap on him. And further down the field, the off-road action continues, this time for Remy Hassler and Christophe Hedlund. And things continue to go downhill for the poleman, spending more time in the pits as Arnaud continues to put lap after lap on him. Ehrman returns to the track, but finds himself planted into a grass verge with Remy Hassler. So, approaching the halfway mark, 2nd place is now held by Christophe Louis on 77 laps, seen here chasing Lars Haugen into that corner. Sabrina Lechner in third, who's quite wisely kept herself to herself. She's a lap back on 76. The poleman John Herman having another problem, down in 8th position on 64 laps. While the leader, who's already come from further back than that, Arnaud Mathieu, is now 3 laps out in front on 80. But with this track, you cannot write anything off. Sabrina now found upside down at the end of the pit lane. This is getting surreal now. Her car has clamped itself to that Marshall's t-shirt. Yeah, so now orange car 9 of Stephane Riccobono will be up into third. But before long, he crashes. It looks gruesome. The Marshall doesn't know whether to touch it. Can he really drive like that? It almost looks though it's crying in agony. But it's just the body shell, of course. Meanwhile, car 4 of Anthony Abisset, only a lap or so back, looks to take advantage of the situation, but he slides off the straight onto the grass, as in the foreground, it's the leader being carried back to the pits. The team discuss the best plan of action in the panic as time ticks away. With a lap every 16 seconds, it doesn't take long for Christophe Louis to eat into Arnaud's lead. They decide to make a tyre change. Now with Christophe only a lap back, they must prepare the car for battle. And now less than a half a lap away, the leaders need to get back out. But no, more problems as Christophe Louis sails past to take the lead. A second later and Arnaud is back on track, just a few seconds behind. And now with a full fuel tank, of course, Christophe will need to fill up, so Arnaud must make every second count. Then a mistake from Christophe gives Arnaud a boost. Regaining first place is now just spitting distance for the home favourite, the second of the 2 cars chasing the white-purple number 5. The middle pink car is just traffic Arnaud needs to deal with. First and second are bumper to bumper, thrashing their cars through the insane twists of this awesome track. Arnaud outguns Christophe on the straight, out in front again, as Christophe seems to lose his mojo. 2 laps back and Stephane Riccobono, all patched up from his earlier body shell incident, looking comfortable in third, Lars Haugen in fourth, some way behind him. Take your eyes off that battle and Arnaud's in the greenery, trying to drive the car out of the Marshal's hands. And now his wheel arch is caught. Christophe Louis getting a pretty good view of that. I think it's time for a pit stop. Eight minutes to go and a collision with Lars Haugen, and Arnaud gets his body shell hooked. Losing control, he's in the grass. No major damage, but the delay is just enough for Stephane to pass and retake the lead. The two remain close, separated by pit stops, and as we enter the final 5 minutes, they're on the same lap. But Arnaud continues to show the speed we've seen from him all this weekend and begins to edge away. And for the final minutes, Arnaud proceeds to give a lesson to his fellow drivers in how to handle this thrilling but highly challenging Thionville track. And in the dying moments, he makes a pass on the straight, but he's already a lap up. Yes, Arnaud Mathieu has put the work in. He is the EFRA European B Champion. His pit crew are delighted. There's a slap on the shoulder and a handshake from John Herman, a fantastic sportsman. Christophe Louis takes second, with Stephane Riccobono still in third. Let's hear from our winner.
It's amazing too, because the final was like I start from the pits and then some trouble of the engine during the final after I get 5 laps advance, but in the end I'm European Champion B, and that's just amazing. I don't know what can I say. It's amazing.
And you couldn't start on the main grid. What was going through your head then?
Just push hard and nothing is loose until the end of the race, and I just pushed and it works. So never get down.
It was exciting to watch, but how was it to drive?
He has to take a lot of care to be at the end, and he has to be very patient. He has tried to win, but Arnaud was very fast, and it was the best for today.
I saw a lot of drivers coming out of the track crashing the car and stopping racing. So I said, okay, I have to stay calm, easy, and to reach the end, to reach the finish line. And as Enzo Ferrari said, to win a race, you first must finish. I wasn't fast enough to win. Arnaud was wonderful on this track. It's his home track. He was very, very fast. And I did my best, and I think it's a good result for me. I'm happy.